Okay, Maze. Stop. Oh my goodness. Why are you so frisky? Go sit down. Go sit down. Go sit down. Go sit down. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, so hello everyone. My, have things changed? So, I'm going to be doing an oracle reading. I'm actually being guided to do oracle readings from now on, actually. So, let's just jump into it. So I'm going to start with the subconscious oracle healing. What are the messages for whomever it may concern? What are the messages? What are the messages for whomever it may concern? What are the messages? Whew. All right. Ooh, we start off with the death. Okay. All right now. So when it comes to the death card, it's over. Okay. So we're gonna get into your higher intuitions. What's up? You don't want to watch the movie?
Oh, no.
You don't want to watch it no more?
Nah.
He took the fun out of it. Oh, impatient ass.
I'm thirsty.
Oh shit. Okay, so we got some cards that fell out here. So we have Giggle, we have Take a Chance, and we have Let It Be. Okay, so the thing is that when it comes to Take a Chance, this is a group. When it comes to Let It Be, there's a lotus flower. Okay, so in the department of love, it needs time to grow. It's not what it is, or it's not what you thought it was. So the encouraging messages are to let it be, let it grow. When it's ready, if it's for you, then it will be for you. But it looks like that, you have a group of people over here, and these are actually extraterrestrials because these are starfish. Okay, so they're just like, hey, come play with us. So it's like, take a chance with something new. There may be a group of individuals who are very welcoming towards you, who want to welcome you in, transparent connections. When it comes to Giggle, when things are a bit disturbing, it encourages you to not necessarily find the humor in it, but balance out your expression with adding a little giggle to it, you know. So let's say if you're speaking about a serious topic, okay, now it's not going to be a topic that is traumatizingly serious, it's going to be a topic to where, maybe you're teaching something. Maybe you have to deal with individuals who are not, well, I feel like it has a lot to do with the love situation. So I had a friend, and there's been like this push and pull between her and this guy. So the thing is that her and this guy met at one place. They met at their job, so they work in the same industry, okay, which is the school system. So they met the first time, and things had hit off, but at the same time, the my friend, she was new to the scene, and the guy that she was dealing with, he had been on the scene for a while, and so he had some relations with other women going on within the facility, this and that. But when he met my friend, there was just something about my friend that he couldn't let go of. So about 2 years later, my friend ended up transferring to another school. I want to say maybe about 2 years later, after her being in that school, this guy ends up transferring to her school. Okay, so I'm just like, whoa, this is not a coincidence. Immediately I can pick up that this guy really likes her, and he feels like there were just so many things in between the two of them, like being able to really connect and get to know each other because of the relations that were going on before he met her. Okay, so now he's thinking about a fresh new start. They did a little flirting, so they know that between the two of them, there's something there. There's some type of chemistry. So, immediately the heart always knows. So she jumps right in there. So she's happy to see him. He's looking good 2 years later. Like, still looking good these days, huh? Mm-hmm. So she's complimenting him, and I'm talking about the way that she's complimenting him is extraordinary. Like I'm just like, girl, you make me want to give you my panties right now. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sometimes for men, men want to be in control. So I'm just like, I think it's overwhelming to him, because she's asking me about his response. So I'm just like, I think it's overwhelming, in his mind. He's thinking he knows that he's coming there because he wants to get close to you. But the way that you're coming off at him, you're triggering him. Is kind of like she knows what's up, right? So the thing is that, but he wants the control. So it's kind of like with her jumping right in there, he feels out of control. So now he's moving to his head and he's trying to figure out like how he's going to be able to gain control over the situation. So he invites her out and he ends up standing her up, and he doesn't call, he doesn't do anything, right? So she comes to me, she's very disappointed, and I know she's very disappointed. She put herself out there, in a way you would say that she put him on a pedestal, but she's just very charming, and I mean she's strong within her finesse. I mean, it is what it is. She's only giving what she feels from him. So she's embracing the feeling, but he is not. Right? He doesn't want things to move too fast. He wants to be in control and all this type of stuff. And it's kind of like he's triggered because it's just like, man, she already knows what's up and what time it is. So now he's pumping the brakes because he wants to figure out how to gain control within the situation. And he's trying to think of, in a way, it's kind of like it's like he wants to stop her, but he doesn't want to stop her. So at this point in time, he's kind of clueless. So she tells me, he didn't even have the courtesy to communicate. I said, okay, so what you're going to have to do now, you're going to have to pull it back. Okay, when you pull it back, I said, because sometimes men be testing you. Men are very judgmental. So he could probably be being arrogant and feeling like he got it like that. And because you're confident and you're strong with your approach, he may kind of want to put a dent in your self-esteem. Okay, these are all red flags, but my friend, she wants what she wants. And at the same time, she has to figure out things for herself. She can't just go off of what I say because she is actually in the experience. I can pick up things spiritually and, I can pick up what's going on with her and the things that she tells me, but this is not my experience. Okay, so I told her, I said, pull it back. I said, when you pull it back, I said, act unbothered. Keep it real short with him. Keep it real simple. Don't compliment him. Don't smile at him. Don't do anything. Right? So she comes to me and we have a conversation. Okay, so from what she tells me, I'm just like, all right, now here we go. So I tell her, I said, now he's going to be in his head, right? Because the move that he made, he thought that he was gaining some type of control, or he thought that he was tempering you to calm you down, but now he realizes that that was the wrong move to make, right? So now he's going to be in his head about what to do next. And I said, do not give in. I said, even when he starts to show you stuff, don't give in because he's going to be breadcrumbing you anyway. If he's not coming with if he can't address or like why he didn't show up and why he didn't call you, you know, he was a bad boy. Don't let him get away with doing that. Okay? So she tells me, she's just like, yeah, he just keeps coming into my classroom, and now he's following down behind me. Now when it comes to her, she's resentful now. She's disappointed. And then on top of that, because she put him on a pedestal, she's expecting that he would at least be courteous enough to explain himself as to why he did what he did. But I told her, I said, he's going to try to sweep it up under the rug. When he picks up on your energy, when he picks up that you have pulled back, I said either two things are going to happen. Either he's going to come out and be honest and confront and communicate about the situation, or he's going to try to sweep it up under the rug. So he ends up trying to sweep it up under the rug, right? So I told her, keep it simple. Just don't give him anything. So now he's chasing, now it's starting to wear on him because he's going through things within his life. He's going through things at work. He sees that she's strong within what she does at work. She's able to cope. There are things going on within her life too. So now he's starting to see her in a different light than what he once saw her as. So now he's chasing, coming into the room, and he breaks down, I'm going through some things, and I really need somebody to talk to, this and that. Okay. So she lightens up, right? So she lightens up. They start talking more, communicating more. Okay, so now he's opening up more. Mind you, he still hasn't said anything about standing her up, right? And she's just going along with the program. Okay. So eventually it gets to a point to where he wants to make up. He doesn't understand why he didn't get a reaction out of her, right? He doesn't understand her discipline, which tells me that he deals with a lot of toxic women. And how he thought that he was going to run this situation, he now sees it's not going to happen that way. So now he realizes that he's dealing with a different type of woman than what he's used to. And to where he wanted control, he feels lost and out of control. So now there's a confliction between how he feels and what he thinks that he should do. Okay, so he's still holding on, right? But the thing is that he wants the opportunity to make up for that lost time. Okay. So now the thing is that when he asks her out, she confronts him about the first time, and she's waiting for his response, and he doesn't know what to say. Because he was trying to play games. He wanted a reaction out of you. He must be used to dealing with very clingy, codependent women. you know, and you showed him something different when you didn't come back and you were on that bullshit. You kept it classy, you kept it professional, you kept it disciplined, you kept it grown and sexy. Okay? So that's a little intimidating to him, right? Because that's not what he's used to. But at the same time, he likes it. And true to himself, he may have been craving something like that. The thing is that he's seen it in her with their first encounter when she first got to that school, his school. But there were so many distractions because of relationships that he had already got caught up in. So, now he's trying to move towards her and he's trying to start over fresh, and he's feeling out of control right away. So what is he doing? Reverting to his tactics that he uses. I told you, men are very judgmental. So he probably saw her grace. He saw her compliments. He saw her interests as, oh, she's easy, or oh, she's toxic. He's seen her as how he sees the other type of women that he deals with. So this is why I had to encourage her to cut that illusion. It's fucked up out here because a woman should be able to fully express and reflect how good a man makes her feel just by his existence, which means that she's showing gratitude for him. Wow, how threatening is that? Okay. So anyway, fast forwarding. So they go out, he's lost for words, right? So that tells me he was trying to play games and he doesn't want to tell the truth about what he was doing. But at the same time, he doesn't want to lie to her. So he just doesn't say anything. He just sits there with a stupid look on his face. So she sees that he's panicking. So in order to disarm him, she says, well, you can make it up to me this time. Okay. So they go out on their date. They have a good time. It's she's noticing things, right? Because he's a very good looking guy, right? So the thing is that um they go out and the bartender is flirting with her, is flirting with him in front of her face. And the bartender is making it very obvious. She's so into this guy, and then when it comes to my friend, she's so short with her. She even tries to get a little disrespectful. Now, my thing is that you can expect those types of things with a really good looking man because bitches be losing their mind and see this is the type of behavior he's used to. Okay. So my girlfriend, she finds it to be kind of cute, but at the same time, with what she knows about him and how good looking he is, she already knows, that she can expect like weird shit like this to happen. Okay. So she doesn't take it personal. She just continues to enjoy herself and observe. She's observing him. A mutual friend of the two of them just happens to pop up, you know. Um, I think that he set that up. Intuitively, I feel like he set that up because he wanted to take the pressure off of connecting and being too intimate, right? Now, I didn't tell her that, but intuitively, that is something that I picked up on. So, and then at the same time, he needs a third party in order to use some type of excuse. You know, I picked up to exit. I don't understand why, right? But that's what I picked up. So, now all three of them are sitting there hanging out, and my friend is doing more observation. She's starting to notice certain things about him. She finally comes to the realization, like, you know what? This guy is not necessarily all of that, but at the same time, I do like him. I respect him. I do think that he's handsome and charming, but, unfortunately, this is not it, you know. Now, she did have expectations, and I feel like he knew she had expectations to where things would be a little more romantic, but he wanted to keep things more friendly. So I do too believe that is why he had that third party just anonymously pop up there. Then on top of that, I picked up that he was feeling that waitress. She's displaying characteristics of his comfort zone. Okay. And my friend tells me she was a very beautiful girl too. Then on top of that, she's real aggressive because she's trying to be rude to my friend and all smiley and giggly in this man's face. But at the same time, he's paying attention to how my friend is acting too, because my friend is unbothered by this woman's behavior. That's something new to him too. He may be very used to emotionally immature and petty women. So he's not seeing that from my friend. So when she comes to her realization that, this is not necessarily what she thought it was going to be, and intuitively she's picking up that things are not really right here. He may be gaslighting, he's masking, he's lying about something. Okay? So she tells them that she's going to go home. She really enjoyed herself. This, and that. The guy is just like, well, I can take you home because he picked her up. So he's like, well, I can take you home. She's just like, oh no, it's not far from my house. I'm going to catch an Uber and I'm going to go home. Right. So after she tells me about her date, she then tells me, she says, well, I have a football game to go to, and I'm pretty sure there are going to be some nice daddies there. Right. So I said, okay, girl. So when it comes to giggle, sometimes, you know, in giggling, it can help you to detach because it interrupts you mentally and emotionally, you know? Because imagine if she was super focused on her expectations of this date. Like, great, here comes this beautiful woman, and she's sitting here and she's flirting with him and she's disrespecting me. You know what I'm saying? And he's just so dumb. He's giving into it, you know, like not paying attention that she's being disrespectful. But I'm gonna tell you, if the roles were reversed, you know, men don't like that shit. Men don't hold that shit in either. Okay? So I think that too is why he was surprised at her response by her not being bothered. Okay? Which means that in women terms, he's been friend zoned. She's being respectful towards him by friend zoning him instead of getting upset, you know, feeling intimidated, you know, reacting. So if if she was too focused on what she wanted and was expecting out of this situation, then she would be upset. She would be upset. You know, she would probably try to force more out of him. Okay? And my thing is, personally, I feel like with studying and dealing with the type of women that he's dealt with, you know, he's kind of expecting certain reactions out of her. You know, like I said, you know, he's not getting it. So he's kind of freaked out within the situation because I'm pretty sure if the roles were reversed, he would have said something. He would have confronted that man like, "Hey, don't disrespect me. You see that she's here with me. You see that she's with another man. So, rather or not, if you know we're together or not, out of respect, you should not be flirting with her in front of my face." Right. So this kind of creates a little intimidation on his part. Now it's kind of like, well, you know what? Am I as stable as I think that I am? So he's having a lot of questions. This woman is making him question himself. Okay? So you know, now I know how much she really liked this guy. So even I was surprised at how well she handled herself, and I'm glad she got out of there when she did. You know, because I'm pretty sure that deep down inside it was kind of uncomfortable, especially because she was looking forward to him, you know, really stepping up and like making up, like, bro, you really hurt my feelings the first time. And then you don't have the consideration, you don't have the balls to tell me the truth about what happened. Then the second time around, you're trying to keep it all friendly. You know that it's more than that between us. Why are you playing with me? Why are you fucking with me right now? So, this is what you call unrequited. It makes the situation imbalance to where exploring romance is not fun. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. Okay. So, I mean, that was just an example. Okay. So, with her walking off, when it comes to take a chance, this is going to represent her going to that football game and allowing herself to be open minded to somebody else wanting to come in and to, you know, like maybe talk to her, conversate with her, show some type of interest. And I mean, you know, she deserves that. Deep down inside, she's disappointed, but it's kind of like having the truth is more important because in having the truth, she no longer has to suffer emotionally to where she's questioning how he feels about her because through what he's showing her is enough, and it's uncomfortable, and it's not what she wants. Okay. All right now, Oracle. So we're going to get into your unconventional oracle messages real quick just to kind of see what spirit guides you have around. So in a romantic situation, it's kind of like what you are unaware of is that this situation is dead and over. It's dead. You know, nothing is going to rebirth from this situation. Okay. It's kind of seasonal. So, whatever you have experienced with somebody, it is seasonal. Once that flower blossoms, when the season is over, it dies off. And when it dies off, you know, it's gone. Okay. Okay, so you have grace. All right. Moving through life, your challenges within life, your issues with grace. All right. So I feel like, so what? I mean, is this the assistance? This is either the assistance that you are receiving, or either this is you and you are helping somebody else move through a situation with grace. Okay. So, I mean, we're going to end it there. That is going to be the messages for today. So until the next time, we'll talk again. Open yourself up. So when it comes to take a chance in moving into this new situation, this new setting, this new group, be graceful. You know, be gentle, take your time, move with grace and flow. Just let it flow. Okay? So until the next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.